When people talk about figure skating, Tai Babylonia is mentioned as one of the all-time greats. From her early days to being paired with Randy Gardner, Tai has lived a life of accomplishment. 5-time United States champion, world champion, 2-time Olympian.
Everything is working so far for them. The names we've heard in Paris before.
Even away from the ice, Tai's story has been one that has intrigued the American public for decades. Her life was chronicled in the television special On Thin Ice, the Tai Babylonia story, and as an author with lifelong skating partner Randy Gardner. With all the achievements, today she is living her best life, a sober life.
Tai, you're sober. What is that like?
It's the best. Took me a while to figure it out, how great it was, and it took me a while to get here, get to this place. But what a difference! And it's just everything got brighter and more colorful and just clearer.
The snow changed color. The ice changed
The
color.
ice changed color. Everything changed colors, and I'm so, for the first time, because I've done a lot in my life. You know, especially with my skating, but this is what I'm the most proud of. You know, making the Olympic teams twice and being world champion and having a healthy son is fabulous.
You have your priorities in order.
Yes,
you know what you
absolutely. Value. But I've never really taken the time to pat myself on the back for all those accomplishments on and off the ice. This time I did, with the sobriety I did. It's like, you know what? I did something right, and I'm so proud of myself.
Well, you're going to be a role model for a lot of people on this show today, and
Great.
we really, really appreciate it.
Great.
Now, as a 2-time Olympian, do you think that there's a difference getting sober, staying sober, or when you're not, you know, when you weren't in recovery? Do you think there was more scrutiny involved? What do you think is the difference?
You know what? Go say that again. Break that down.
Someone who's not a celebrity, someone who's not
Yeah.
an 2-time Olympian. I mean,
Right.
you know, you're famous, you know.
Well, yeah, exactly. All eyes are on me, or some eyes are on me, and I know that. And part of my recovery is, a major part is sharing it with everyone, which I do. That, like, there's no secrets. I'm not good with keeping stuff in.
Right.
And it just helps me to see, like this morning I posted something on Facebook and on Twitter, and the reaction is incredible.
About coming out and
About
talking
coming
about
out
your
and sharing
recovery.
it and just being honest.
Uh-huh.
It's the honesty. With me, it's no secrets, and being honest with myself, first of all, and then with family and friends.
You're out of the dark and you're into the light.
It's so great.
And you're alive and
yes.
you're awake.
Right.
How much sober time do you have now?
7 years and 5 months.
So what was that bottom? What was that moment of clarity, that miracle moment?
I was actually in Ashland, Oregon, and I had left home not really knowing that Ashland is where I was going to get sober. It just kind of happened, and I knew it was going to happen, I just didn't know when. And it was the constant fighting and arguments with a then fiance. And the drinking wasn't...
Stopped working, huh?
It wasn't fun anymore. And I was flying off the handle, and just everything was a struggle. Everything was heavy. And it didn't taste good. It didn't make me feel good. It was causing problems. And it was there in Ashland that it was one huge argument.
Was this your first time, your first attempt to get
No,
sober?
I had tried back in the late 80s with a program. I tried with a 12-step program because someone had said, you need to get into this program.
Oh.
So I did it because someone else was telling me to, people were telling me to.
Your motives weren't clean.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So the second time, I did it because I wanted it myself.
And what are your relationships like now when you talk about your son? How old is your son?
21.
Okay.
Scout is 21. My
21.
son's 21. it's great. It, like I said, it's great because there's not that dark cloud over my head.
Yeah.
And it's just very freeing.
Uh-huh.
And Scout learns from my mistakes. I said, learn from Mom's mistakes.
Okay.
And he is.
So how are you spreading experience, strength, and hope in the recovery community? How are you? I mean, you're here today, of
Right.
course, but how else are you letting
Well,
people
just
know?
other interviews, social networking. I just chose to be open with it all. And people are responding.
Of course, there's some naysayers that say, "Oh, it's anonymous," but I say,
I am so not anonymous.
I say to those, "It's your sobriety. You can
Right.
do with it whatever you want."
It's my journey, and
Exactly.
whatever works for me or you, whatever it takes. And for me, it's sharing, and not holding it in.
Right.
And I love it. I love the reaction.
Great. What has been one of the greatest reactions you've gotten? Has anyone ever written you or said to you?
Always writing me.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And Facebook is huge, and I use that platform to stay current, and Twitter and now Instagram, just to stay current with work and with my personal life, because my sobriety is very much my personal life.
Do you go to a 12-step program?
No,
Is that what you do?
I don't. But you know what? I know it's there, and I have so many friends, famous and non-famous, who are in that program, in the 12-step program. So I know if I'm in trouble, I can always go there, or I can make a phone call
So it's
to that person.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the 12 steps. There's always a meeting every
Always.
day, many meetings going on.
Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
not one road to sobriety. That's not cookie cutter. It's whatever works for you. And
Exactly.
obviously, so what does work for you? Do you have a spiritual program? Do you have a higher power in your life?
Very spiritual. And every night I thank every night before I go to bed, it's the first thing. Whoever is up there, I thank you for this day. This day of sobriety. We
So
got
a
through
moment
the
of
day.
Gratitude.
Yes. And I just know, for me, if I take one drop of alcohol, I'm done. I'm done. That's enough for me.
So you're a real alcoholic, Ty, huh?
Yeah, I might as well crawl under a rock and call it a day. And I've worked too hard to get to this place, and I know I have so much more in life to accomplish.
Are there more openings in your life, now that you're sober? Did all of a sudden things start happening? Miracles? 'Cause
Miracles.
we hear
Well,
about
the
that
work
all the time.
started. The work. See, I just interrupted you. But the work.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're fluid here.
Yeah.
We'll just let it
The
happen.
work is starting to come to me. Yes, I still have to, pitch and hustle, because there's at this moment there's no manager or agent, so it's all me. But it seems to be the universe is working in a very
your
positive,
favor.
in my favor. How great is that?
I think
Yeah.
that's when it happens. I think that's when the miracles occur.
Yeah, when you're honest. It's honesty is huge with me, and I've
Were you hiding before?
absolutely. I was scared.
What were you scared of? What were you hiding from?
Well-
Was it from that fall from grace kind of thing?
Right. It was that. It was what people were thinking about me. All that kind of paranoid.
I think underneath addiction is codependency and fear.
Yeah.
And so, what would you say to someone that's still hiding? Someone struggling out there that's still.
Well, you're not alone. And I know we all say that, but it's true. You're not alone. And I know I'm not alone. So many of my friends, we had the best time in the 80s, in the 90s, we had that big fun. I'll call it big fun.
Big hair, big fun.
Big hair, big fun, big money, big everything, big houses, big everything. We all had it.
So from your skating career, you were doing other big things at that time.
We were amateur, and then after the 80 Olympics, we turned professional. And at that time, you join a tour. Our
like
tour
the
was
Ice-Capades.
exactly.
Okay.
We were in the Ice-Capades, and that was 9 months on the road. And this is where my problem started. This is where the drinking started. 1981. I was just 21, and when you're an amateur skater, you're very sheltered, and all you really have to do is skate. So all of a sudden, you're out on the road, 9 months, out of the year.
And you were young.
And we were young. Both Randy and I were very young, and so you're in this professional life and kind of fending for yourself. It was all new to me. So, and I was trying to keep up with the big kids, with the ones who had done it for so long. And
So you sounded like you were really lost.
I was so lost, and being the star of a show, and I won't call it pressure because I'm not a whiner, but it wasn't easy. A lot depended on both Randy and myself when you're the stars of a hit skating show, skating tour. And I wasn't sleeping, and this is how it started.
And you needed that sleep too.
I needed something. So someone in the show suggested a simple glass of white wine. I didn't know I had an addictive personality. That one glass did it. It made me feel good. It made me fall asleep. I felt like an adult holding the glass of wine with, when we go out.
Right.
Boom.
That was it.
There we go.
You
The
were
seed
on.
was planted. Game on.
And
One
so-
glass started, became one bottle. The one bottle of white wine became, a bottle of brandy or a bottle, just.
So you were doing this a long time.
And functioning. I was functioning for a while. I could handle it.
So now you're healthier. You do
I'm so much healthier.
Are you on the ice now
Yeah.
again? Did you kind of take a break from that?
A well-needed break. I crashed, my first kind of crash and burn, and this is all documented in a TV movie, an NBC movie of the week,
Okay.
back in 90, I think it came out in 91. It's sort of, not everything, but they captured kind of the problems. So I crashed, my first crash was in 1988 because we were working nonstop. I was drinking nonstop, just drinking, no drugs. And I hit bottom. And it was after that's when a lot of people said you got to get into a program, get into a 12-step. So I did it, but did it for the wrong reasons. Just did it because
didn't have a
it
lot
would
of
shut
time.
people up. So that didn't work, and I started drinking again and functioning and still performing. Wasn't the greatest performance, but I was working. The work was still coming in, and
Skating. You were skating.
Skating.
Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't until 7 years and 5 months ago that it really, I crashed again. So it's been a long road.
What would you say to someone that was in your position at 21, who's sort of dabbling, exploring, kind of playing around with it recreationally?
Know your limits. And this is what I tell my son. And just learn from my mistakes. And just learn it, and especially if you do have an addictive personality, as as a lot of us do, just know that anything can happen, and just be aware.
Right.
See, I wasn't aware of it. And I just, recently learned, I understood you have to take care of it. For me, it's not a day at a time, it's a second at a time.
For sure.
I take care of my sobriety.
Yeah, you
because
mentioned
it's fragile.
spirituality. So you have a higher power, you have a belief system that keeps you.
Someone's calling the shots. I don't know. I think it's a woman. Sometimes I think God is a woman.
Okay.
But it's someone up there, and I listen.
Well, when you're sober, you have the ability to listen. You suddenly have the
Yes.
intuition. You have the
Right.
quiet and the stillness and the peace
Right.
that you don't have. You have the peace between your ears.
Yeah. Be in the moment. Just get through today. It was hard for me to learn. Because as an Olympian, as an athlete, it's 4 years, the next 4 years, the next year, what's going to happen, it's pretty much mapped out for us, and that doesn't always work in normal life. And that took me a while with a lot of therapy to figure out.
We're so glad that you're here and
Thank
you're
you.
sober and
Thank
you're
you.
awake. We are
I
sponsored
appreciate
by a rehab center, and
Yes.
we talk to a lot of families that are struggling. And I'm just wondering if you might have something to say to a family member or a loved one who, has done this this dance with putting their loved ones in rehab and they can't get them sober, and
Right.
they're afraid, am I enabling? What am I doing? Am I doing this right? What would you say to that person?
Well, I love the idea that right now there are so many different types of programs designed for different types of people. The harsh thing of it is usually it takes something really bad to happen.
Like you were functioning for a
Before,
long
yeah,
time.
yeah. Before before it really you connect with it.
So you didn't have a lot of people saying anything to you at first.
No, and I wasn't listening. And if they did, I wasn't
Well,
listening.
you were in your denial, right?
Right.
It's the disease of denial.
Right. And I just now I've surrounded. I had to go through the phone book and just clean it out. It's like I don't really need that friend or this person.
So you had party friends.
I had party friends, so I cleaned house, and I pushed a lot of people away, even the ones who loved me. When I went to Ashland, Oregon, I kept it on the low down because I knew, first of all, I couldn't get sober here at home. I knew it wasn't going to happen here. There's too many distractions. Ashland was perfect because it wasn't. There's no entertainment there. There was just I was
No
quiet.
triggers for you.
No triggers, and for the first time I was quiet in my life, and that's where I learned to be in today or be in the moment.
It really is one moment at a
So,
time. So what are
it
you doing
is.
now? What's Ty up to?
Well, I'm still skating with my partner.
Okay.
When does this come out? When is this coming out?
This should be live in
Oh.
probably sometime in May.
Oh, perfect. So June 1st
Perfect timing.
in Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas, Randy and I are being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. We've been together 48 years, so it's.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm so proud of that. Once again, another
Wow,
thing I'm proud
that's
of is
amazing.
that friendship and that career.
That says a lot about you.
Yes, and Randy's been so supportive. So we have that. I'm the co-host of a talk show in Santa Barbara, Ken Boxer Live.
Okay, what is the theme of the talk show?
We interview entertainers, athletes, friends,
Oh, wonderful.
and
Okay.
it's
Fun.
it's so much fun. I've
Kind
learned
of fun
so
sitting
much.
on the other side of the
Yes.
camera.
Yeah, I love that. Still skating, doing seminar. I have a seminar coming up with Scott Hamilton in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically don't quit your day job. Never in a million years did I think I'd be still skating at 56 years old.
That's fabulous.
Thank you.
Oh,
That's sobriety.
That is so inspiring.
That's my sobriety saying you're not done. You've got so much more to offer.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for inspiring us today.
Thank you,
Big
Sherry.
hug for you, Ty.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that is Recovery Today.
Yay!